Entitled mother loses her smug attitude after judge orders her to jail for denying parenting time.
Calling case 2020-1981 DC, Richard Back versus Jennifer Martinez. Today is Wednesday, December 13th, 2023 at 2:10 p.m. 2021-1981 DC.
Get rid of the echo.
Yeah, we're good.
Court will note the appearance of Ms. Sharp on behalf of the plaintiff. The defendant is appearing in pro per. This is the time and place set for the evidentiary hearing on two matters: the plaintiff's motion for denial of parenting time for make-up parenting time, as well as plaintiff's motion for return of child and to enforce the orders. The court would note that the court had entered an ex parte order to enforce judgment of custody and to show cause for failure to comply back on July 25, 2023, which stated in the order in paragraph 1 that the defendant shall immediately return the minor child, Ella Joe, back, date of birth, to plaintiff for his parenting time. The plaintiff has subsequently filed an additional motion in this particular matter that was filed on November 27, 2023, stating that there has been an additional denial and that the child has not been turned over to him. Ms. Martinez, have you in fact complied with the turnover order in this matter? And I say that only because the most recent motion, the plaintiff had contained in paragraph 17 of the motion various texts from you, in fact, demonstrate or showing that you do not have the intent to comply with the court orders in this matter.
I did return Bella for visitations with her father until she was abused by her father physically. She came home with cuts to her mouth that were confirmed by her pediatrician, and then that is when I stopped.
Okay. Is my understanding from reading the motion that that CPS was involved and they did not substantiate, is that correct?
They were at the doctor's office when the doctor showed them and confirmed to them the cuts on our daughter's lips. However, whether they followed their protocol for child abuse or not I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, well, I can only assume, I don't know, but I assume that they followed their protocol as
Right.
they're required to do. Well, I guess the main point is, are you in fact refusing to turn the child over to the plaintiff?
Well, as of right now, yes.
Okay.
The plaintiff, Mr. Back, has pled guilty to domestic violence, which
Okay.
occurred
Well,
July 1st.
that's the only point I want to make
Yep.
today, Ms.
Okay.
Martinez.
Yep.
As a result of your failing to turn over as this court.
Look, I'm not going to lie. She looks crazy. Some of these chicks, they just look crazy. You can look at this woman and tell.
Order, the court is going to remand you to the Calhoun County Sheriff,
Okay.
where you will remain incarcerated until such time as the child is turned over to the plaintiff.
Okay.
So you can go with the deputy.
As I'm in court, how am I to allow the plaintiff to know where our minor child
Well,
is?
you're going to have to make your phone call.
You guys ever seen Pineapple Express? The cop lady, the crazy one, who in the beginning of the movie is next to what's his name when he shoots the Asian, that crazy cop lady. She looks and sounds exactly like this woman.
And make sure that whoever where the child is, that the child is turned over. But at this point, you will remain incarcerated until such time as the child is.
But if I'm in jail, how am I supposed to get my child and give her to the plaintiff? I'm just trying to make sure that I know what to do.
They don't need you for that.
You'll have to call somebody or let the plaintiff know where the child is so he can pick up the child.
May I ask one more question?
Yes.
So we are gonna follow the current parenting time order, which is from the plaintiff gets our child from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So
The current orders have not been changed. They will remain in effect until such time as we have another.
so I am to turn our child over to the plaintiff at 8 p.m. tonight?
Is that, if that's the time of the
Yeah,
turnover?
well, yeah, that is the time of the turnover, yep.
Well, in this particular matter, I do note that the court has previous, and there are makeup parenting times that are required. Ms. Sharp, what are the makeup parenting times that you've requested?
Bring them up, Your Honor. My client initially went without the child starting July 5th, and I believe she started to comply back with the order, was it in August?
I don't remember, she just placed me. I don't-
Okay, let me just look at my work. Quick. And then she stopped complying. She stopped complying November 3rd and my client has not had the child since.
Okay, so in total, how many days is that?
35. This time,
Yeah,
last time.
29 the last time, 29 overnights, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and then from November 3rd until now, I'm sorry, just 1 second, Your Honor.
May I, Your Honor?
Just a minute, let's figure this out first.
no, so we minus that her.
You need a calendar, Ms. Sharp?
Yes, I can bring a calendar, Your Honor, I can do it. Sorry, I was relying on his mom, which she's out there,
Oh,
and she knows all the dates. I was gonna put her up on the stand to do it, and
Yeah, parental alienation is kind of a unique problem that men exclusively face, mainly because women primarily get
No,
custody.
no, sure.
That's one of the reasons
So,
that
6 days.
it cites. You know, of course, they're not going to say which gender. They'll attribute it to the parent that gets the most custody,
Right.
and they'll say that's why women commit parental alienation more often than men. But it is an issue pretty much exclusively that men face. I'm not saying women don't either, but majority, right? Majority. And it's not something that gets talked about much. That along with paternity fraud. When it comes to reproduction in general, men are kind of shit out of luck in a lot of different ways.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
But no one cares.
Okay, so the
right?
first time was 29, and now my client's stating it's 34 overnights,
34 total or 34 this time?
additional.
Okay. So we have a total of 63, it looks like,
Correct.
is the total. Ms. Martinez, is that square with your understanding?
Yes, yes, it is. I was just wondering if the court was going to go by its recommendations that anybody that had pled guilty to domestic violence should not have 50-50 custody of the minor child, because
We are enforcing the orders that
Okay.
are in existence at this time. We're not
is the
gonna
court
spec-
going to investigate because of the domestic
Court does not
violence? of the plaintiff?
investigate.
Oh,
Other
the
agencies,
FOC handbook said it does.
other agencies investigate, CPS investigates, the police investigate, the court does not investigate.
And I was just wondering, because the FOC handbook says that the court would investigate. if
Court
they
will
were-
order that the child be turned over to him immediately,
Okay.
forthwith, and that he will have the child for the 63 days that he has been denied as makeup parenting time. Yes,
I can have my ride here. Cindy, go get the minor child and bring her here within a half hour. She is only about 5 minutes from here. If the court can wait a half hour, I can have her here in a half hour.
well, okay, I'll have the deputy take you, he can take
Can you
you
go,
to the
Bella?
holding tank, and then we'll see that the child.
I'm sorry, should she bring Bella here to this
You
courtroom?
do that when you go to jail, figure it out.
I can. There's a personal protection order against him and he continues to address me. When my friend Cindy goes to get Bella, should she bring her here to this
She can
courtroom?
bring her back to the court. In fact, what we'll do is we'll have Ms. Sharp and her client, they can be out in a conference room and the child can be turned over to them. And at that time, once Ms. Sharp is confirms that he has the child, then we will allow your release.
Sure.
Okay?
Can you do that for me, please? Thank you.
Yeah, so like I was saying, when it comes to parental alienation, if you look into it, I think it's about 60 to 80% of the time it's women who are committing it. They are the parent that is alienating the children from the father, and they say they attribute it to because while women usually get most of custody, so therefore they're around the children more often than the father, so they can get in their ear and kind of, get them to perceive the other parent negatively. But yeah, I mean, it is actually a pretty big issue, and this is exactly what took place here. This mother denied the dad parenting time for several months. I think it might have been longer than that, but yeah, parental alienation, paternity fraud, these types of things. And then also men not having any say at all whether or not a child is born. If it's like we constantly hear about women being oppressed, and I really don't hear much evidence of that. I hear it a lot, but I don't see any real evidence. I really don't. But when it comes to like reproduction, actually, women have all the rights and men pretty much have none. Women get offended if you want to get a paternity test for some strange reason. It's like, Jesus Christ, we can't get anything out of you. These women will be with these men and they really love them. Wouldn't you want to then go ahead and help your husband feel better about this issue rather than make it about him not trusting you and getting offended over that shit? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But it seems like a lot of men don't understand. You don't have to tell the mother. You can do it behind her back. She doesn't have to know. And you know what? You might as well as not. You might as well as not let her know. You really might as well as not. And when it comes to acknowledgement of paternity, and this again, if you acknowledge paternity and then it turns out down the road you have been cuckolded and you're raising another man's child, well, if you signed that AOP, you might still be on the hook for child support if you guys were to split up, even though this child isn't yours. And everybody knows it. Well, you're kind of shit out of luck, man. You signed the AOP. Oh, because your girl gaslit you. It's not getting a paternity test. Oh, and because it's not mandatory. Yeah, so it's ridiculous. You know what would be really fucked up is if you got cucked. You got cucked. You didn't get a paternity test, and then you also this woman also was committing parental alienation against you. That would just be a fucking getting wrecked. But let's check out some of these comments. She should have gotten the 63 days in jail so she can't interfere with the visitation. Another case of the mother hating the father more than she loves the child. Finally, a mom who's committing parental alienation is held accountable and put in jail. That's right. Yep. She acted so righteous. I can't stand moms who think they're on a high horse. Amazing how the child is all of a sudden available when jail is mentioned. There you go. That's right. That's exactly it. Unbelievable. Careful who you knock up, man. And if you're going to stick your dick in crazy, I don't recommend you do it. But wrap it up, that's for sure. No doubt about it. Funny how fast a child can be produced when she's facing jail time. She seems like a perfectly horrible person. Yeah, child can be here in 30 minutes. Half an hour if the court has time. She really hoped that crying he is violent is going to work. I would be more afraid of her than of him. Yeah, she seems very, very manipulative. That's for sure. Bringing up domestic violence. It's also not good that he pled guilty to domestic violence. Let's not act like that's good. But it is kind of irrelevant to what's going on here. Yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and leave the video there. So if you enjoyed that, go ahead and drop a subscription and a like, and I will see you later. Bye.